Hey, I'm checking in with the mileage update. So we hit 1,000,000 miles on the car on March 11th, 2023. It's now mid-December 2024, so it's been a year and 9 months since that happened. We've had a lot of changes with the car since then, and then I've made a change as well. So my big change is I'm not doing deliveries anymore. So going forward, the miles are going to accrue a lot slower than they used to. All right, so I thought I'd take this opportunity to just kind of go through what's been done since the 1,000,000 miles, kind of bring you up to speed if you haven't seen some of the other videos. All right, so like I said, March 11th, 2023 was the 1,000,000 miles. Actually got home from the trip and the radiator started leaking, so put a new radiator in the moment I got back to Texas. After that, 1,013,000 miles, put a new passenger side blend door motor in. And then just a couple thousand miles later was the engine change. So 1,015,708 miles was the original engine mileage. So I've got videos on it. Initially, I was going to go through and do a JDM swap. Had a JDM engine shipped to me, ended up being bad, and so kind of aborted that, and then ended up going with a new Honda OEM engine from P2R from Power Rev Racing. So at that time, changed out the engine, the fuel injectors, coils, plugs, O2 sensors. You may remember I had a whole lot of, cylinder one was not working, so I had a whole lot of, bad stuff going through the exhaust. It killed my cats, so I tried just replacing the O2 sensors. That didn't work, so later I had to replace the cats. But also did the clutch and flywheel at that time, knock sensor, and then driver's side CV axle. All right, shortly after that, just a few thousand miles later, couldn't get the engine light to stay off for the low cat efficiency, so 19,000 miles, replaced the catalytic converters. Really wish I would have done that while the engine was out of the car, obviously. After the engine swap, I was getting VTEC codes for some reason. I'd throw a code and then it wouldn't go above 3,500 RPM. I swapped the VTEC from the old engine to the new engine. That didn't work. I ordered another VTEC solenoid and put that in, didn't change it. Finally figured out it was actually the shop I used that figured this out, but where the VTEC plugs in, there's also a power steering plug that's the exact same plug, and during the engine change, those two things have been swapped out, so the car was freaking out and thinking it had problems, and it actually didn't. It's just the plugs that were swapped. So got that resolved. Let's see, after that, 1,027,000 miles, replaced the radiator hoses and the battery. The hoses have been in there for a while. I can't remember when they were replaced, but they've been there for a long time. 1,044,000 miles, put new front struts on it. Right after that, I was getting a hesitation that started developing. It was only under slight acceleration. It would be a hesitation at low RPM. Didn't happen going down the road. And keep in mind, just prior to this, 13,000 miles before, or I guess about 30,000 miles before at that point, about 30,000 miles before, I had replaced the engine, and at that time replaced the coils and plugs and injectors and everything. So I was pretty sure those were all working okay. Thought it might be an acceleration pedal position sensor. Brand new, is a little over $100, so I decided to take a chance on one at a junkyard. Got one off a salvage car, put it on, car acted the same, and so then tried a map sensor, and that ended up being the problem. So fixed it with a new map sensor. So map sensor was installed at 1,046,000 miles. So once again, the symptoms I had were hesitation at low RPM, general acceleration, never an engine code, never a misfire code or anything like that, just a hesitation. It just wasn't running right. It was almost like I had bad gas, but it ended up being the map sensor. So kudos to the original Honda map sensor. It lasted 1,046,000 miles, so good job, Honda. Shortly after that, almost 1,049,000 miles. I had two suspension arms on the rear left wheel that had wore out and was causing, as I'd hit the brakes, the car would kind of flex a little bit. It kind of twist a little bit. It was real uncomfortable. So I was doing an oil change and tire rotation and just kind of feeling around on things and felt the left rear wheel had some play in it when I would try to move it. So I found two arms bad, so replaced those. After that, 1,052,000 miles, replaced the power steering hoses. Previously, I'd replaced the hose going from the reservoir up to the power steering pump, but this replacement was the rest of the hoses, besides the power steering pressure hose, which got replaced under a recall way back when. So I'll show you those hoses here in a second. So let's see, other stuff recently. Got the intake painted finally, was waiting on that till it cooled back down. So got that painted, so that looks a lot better now. And then installed Ghost Key from Jordan Distributors Incorporated, JDI. Had it sitting around for a while. Once again, when it's hot as heck in South Texas, not really stuff I want to be messing with it when I don't have to. So I waited for it to cool down, got Ghost Key installed. I'll show you that here in a second. All right, so let's check out the miles of the car. All right, there we go. Just shy of 1,053,000 miles. So I meant to do this video a little bit sooner, but this car just made a trip to Illinois for Thanksgiving to see family. So did road trip, put some miles on it. So just now getting around to the video. All right, so let me show you Ghost Key here. So this is a push button start that's installed in the position of my original ignition lock. So you install the system, there's an antenna there, and so you get these key fobs. This was an extra one I purchased. They have little plastic ones that come with it, as well as a credit card. These things have individualized codes. No two of the Ghost Key kits are ever the same, so they're unique to each individual kit. But you hold it up to the antenna, and then you have push button start. So nice little modern flair for an old car. Jordan Distributors Incorporated, JDI. So they've got these for a whole bunch of different cars. You can look on their website. A lot of Hondas, Acuras, several others on there as well. And they've got many more products than just this. This is just the one that I installed in here. They've got other stuff you can do as well. So I just wanted to show you that neat little feature of the car. All right. Got the inside all cleaned up. Treated the seats again with leather conditioner. Just wipe down everything, put protectant on it. Also just waxed it for the first time since I had the ceramic coating put on there. Pretty happy with the way everything turned out. Okay, there's the intake painted. So I ended up using VHT high heat wrinkle paint. Worked really well after all the problems I had with the Duplicolor metal cast kit. That did not do too well for me. So really happy with the way that turned out. I bought this Honda emblem, and it had adhesive on there. I was able to stick to that. This thing, the magnesium intake, doesn't get that hot or anything, so it's been just fine the whole time. All right, so like I said, new radiator hoses before. So these power steering hoses, this is the one I'd replaced in the past when it wore out. So that's been in there for probably a year or two. And then end up replacing this hose from the reservoir. It goes down to the cooler down there that runs in front of the radiator. And then there's another hose from the cooler that comes around the front corner of the car and starts running back, connects to the middle line. And then back down in there above the subframe is the other hose. And that thing was a pain in the butt to replace with the subframe in the car. So that was not fun, but got it done. All right, so plans from here with the car. I've got some insulating wrap I'm going to put around this that's going to cover up that ugly gold. It's going to be a silver insulation, just haven't got around to that yet. And then I'm going to order paint. I'm going to paint the underside of the car. I've been researching which kind of paint to use. There's something called Rust Bullet that has real high ratings and sounds like it doesn't fade with usage or sunlight or anything like that. But the car's been a Southern car its whole life, except for when it lived in Washington. They don't salt roads out there either, so it's not been exposed to salt much at all, except for just traveling home to see family on trips and stuff. So no real rust under there to speak of. So I'm gonna paint that, try and make it look better for H-Day. Upcoming trips with it, gonna try to go to the Honda Heritage Center, the museum in Marysville, Ohio, as well as the plant where this was made. I want to take it back there, meet my friends there, and hang out and see where it was made. And then H-Day as well. Still waiting on the dates for H-Day, but plan on going again next year. So that'll be a couple trips in the spring after the weather gets good again. So, all right, so that's my 1,050,000 mile walk around. I'll keep updating Instagram. Like every 5,000 miles, I've been throwing a reel up there showing it roll over every 5,000 miles. And I'll do some update videos along the way. Probably do something with showing the paint and stuff like that. But yep, other than that, just driving it and enjoying it. So thanks a lot for watching. See you later.